but to see if they actually opt in for that again. And if Splyce is finally going to use their counter pick here in the mid lane on red side, because there's first pick Poppy every game so far from Giants.
Yeah, and Giants have finally changed up their ban strategy. They, I think we're pondering the same thing as Mithy and decided they were going to opt out of the Fiora matchup. Wunderwear has been looking pretty godlike towards the end of those last two games, despite it being at 1-1. We'll see what Splyce want to do for their last ban as it ticks down the clock. It's going to be Nautilus, so we will have to see something slightly different, but the Poppy is still up. Yeah,
Nautilus out. This is a hard engage component out. Poppy is going to be first pick. I imagine this is going to be like a Braum reaction with maybe a Gragas here, maybe a Corki.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah, it makes sense. They're actually at least going to flex this Corki. Corki is a very strong mid laner that should be able to punish anything that Pepinero plays. I think we may actually see the Azir end up on Pepinero's side right here as a result, but that means Giants is playing with a lot less wave pressure overall, and maybe Splyce can take advantage of that. Let's see. Wisdom will give away here whether he actually likes playing Gragas or shift away from it, and that will mean that whenever Splyce had early Gragas picks earlier, they kind of wasted that early pick, because if Wisdom isn't even going to challenge it, then why pick the Gragas early?
Yeah, since after this game, things start shifting over to the other side. I mean, this is the third game in a row Giants have been on that blue side if they're only just finding this out now. Plenty of time to decide if they want to lock in that Elise indeed, or if they do decide to contest for the Gragas. And I'm in the same boat as you. I think the Azir should get picked up. Maybe not this rotation, but for Peppy.
I mean, they can because they know it's likely Corki mid, but actually it could pivot. Never mind, it's a flex. So he's going to challenge the Gragas, and then the Alistar. It's the only remaining champion that Hustlin basically really favors towards from support, with obviously Nautilus banned out, Braum taken away, and then Alistar. So that's kind of a given of a lock-in, and then it is up to Wisdom. Does he steal the Gragas or shift his eyes to a different jungle? So Giants are just looking to not give away too much in this rotation. They have a very sturdy front line, and they can go any direction with this composition so far.
Yeah, a lot of powerful picks still available. Remember, Kalista is still up on the board. If they opt to leave Corki as the AD carry on the side of Splyce, that might get picked up by Giants, and the Alistar combo is something that I know you've in particular had a lot to say about.
Yeah, it was strong. Teams have learned how to respect it, however, play around it a little bit, and neither of these teams seem to really be able to use Kalista to generate kills on lane.
Fizz lock-in, though, for Splyce.
It's a flex.
Yeah.
So we have two flexes here. Fizz can be played top and mid. Likely to be mid, though. It's only really good in top lane into specific matchups. So this does mean that it's likely Corki AD carry and then a lost pick top lane. The Graves technically is a flex, too, so there's a lot of flexing going on here. Looks like Splyce has been hitting the gym. Graves is going to be jungle as well. Fizz can technically be jungle, but I don't think Trashy's going to pull that one out.
I somehow don't think so either. And there is the Azir lock-in, so Peppy will get his chance to shuffle his way, hopefully to a victory for Giants' side. And they still contemplate what they want for that last pickup. Could be the Lucian, but I still think a Kalista would be a solid choice.
It has to be the Fizz mid, though, because I don't think Fizz into Poppy is a great matchup. Every time you pop your Q, you see a steadfast presence, and you can just hold the knockup from E until Trickster gets used on the side of Fizz.
Okay, so it is the Lucian for SONSTAR. We'll have to see what he's able to do with that in his hands. And this time, Giants, they've got fairly bash-heavy composition. That is a beefy front line, quite literally with the Alistar.
Yeah, very, very beefy front line. Overall, hard engage, limited wave clear. So if they lose the early game, they could get snowballed on. But they can skirmish their way out of things. Hard engage overall.
Yeah,
looks like I'm wrong. With the Z hover, does he really play Fizz top? I know on hit Fizz is making his way back, but I would expect it into the likes of Maokai. Wonder if I'm actually wrong about this matchup, Fizz Poppy.
I guess we'll get to find out if that happens. I mean, he's still rocking the
that could be an interesting pivot, because I love the Z into the Azir. I love the Azir bait, because it is such a rough matchup to play, and Sencux should actually be able to get just straight up solo kills.
It's locked.
Yeah.
We got ourselves a Zed in the mid lane.
Interesting. Graves jungle then, of course. And it's the Ignite Fizz top here. So early pressure, early trading.
Oh, this is going to be interesting. And Splyce pulling out a wild card this time around. We'll see what Giants are able to make of it. The series stands at 1-1, remember, so no matter what, there'll still be at least one more game after this one. But Giants, you know, big mistakes in game number 2. We were looking at a very, very crisp play in the first game. This is a different composition. Should be a bit easier for them to play, you'd think.
Yeah, it's straightforward. It's easy and hard at the same time because you don't have anything that generates tempo in terms of quick wave clear.
It's true.
So you have losing lane in terms of push. Bottom can fight through it. top lane. Actually, no. Giants are fine when it comes to pushing lanes because there's not that much advantage on the side of Splyce either. I'm just really looking forward to the Fizz. I'll let you do your hype thing right now.
Oh, yeah.
Delve back into that matchup later.
There's so much damage on Splyce's side. I mean, this is really, really exciting to see if they're able to execute because we know they've had in the past a lot of trouble with those more complicated execution style comps. Now, we'll see if they're able to take a win away here. Hashtag SPY win if you think that is going to be the case at LL Esports is the place. Or if you think Giants are going to go 2-1 in this series, go ahead and give us a tweet at hashtag GIA win. Giants Nation's been coming up pretty big here so far. Very popular still with the fans as they fight to stay alive and re-qualify for that LCS with a completely retooled roster. Only xPePii remaining, but he's back on the bird. And for Splyce this game, we'll see if they can keep the gear rolling as we are loaded and locked onto the Rift.
And what is Wunderwear gonna do on this Fizz stop? Is he gonna go for tank and rely on base damages from his W to whittle down? Is he gonna go for the classic Triforce with then Blade of the Ruined King? There are some options. Whatever lane deficit that he does have in terms of trading, he can make up for with the Ignite. He sacrifices obviously a flash here. So if Wisdom and SmittyJ can synergize together and bait out the Titan Trickster, then Wunderwear is stuck in a lane with no gap closer, no escape. So I would like to see an early clear from Wisdom. Early clear, 3 camps, Scuttle Trap, and then gank top. Go body slam over the wall and shut down that Fizz. Let the wave be pushed. SmittyJ, see if he can bait it, the push towards him. That could be a big punish on Wunderwear.
Yeah, and considering SONSTAR and Hustlin should be able to hold their own in this bottom lane, they clearly have been much more go-getting than Kobbe and Nisbeth have been throughout this series. And it's a fairly safe lane combination. I would expect that more to be kind of the trend. Take a look at SONSTAR's gone for the Warlords this time around as well. And sell some more lifesteal.
Staying as sustained as he can. Obviously, has a lot of these assassin-type people coming at him. Wind Speakers on Alistar, kind of standard. Bond of Stone on Zed. On Nisbeth, rather. Later in the game, Kobbe will move to the mid lane, and we'll see a 1-3-1 come out from Splyce. One teleport on one side lane, Zed on the other, looking to assassinate people. Need to see how can xPePii fare 1v1 early too. It's a good start. Sidestep, and then push. So the first few levels Azir is fine. It's when Zed gets a couple of points in WQE that the harass comes out on this Azir, and then the matchup gets rough. And obviously on level 6, Zed has a good trading advantage.
I'll definitely have to come back to that one, especially once we hit the point where the death mark starts coming.
Cancel auto.
Oh no!
Entire CS lost.
Completely done. But what's happening while this is all going on is we've had a delayed lane swap. SONSTAR and Hustlin have moved up to the top side, and they haven't really missed out on any farm because Nisbeth and Kobbe were taking their time around it as well, but they're trying to chase SmittyJ out, who's going to go double jungle with Wisdom for now. Yeah,
and that's a good start here from Giants. They dodge a rough trading matchup in the bottom lane because Braum Corki can set up at least for some concussive blows.
Hustlin's doing the same thing.
And they shut down the Ignite top laner.
Yeah. So this is a plan all along, right? Or at least for Giants, they're the ones who wanted to say, you know what, we don't want to take that 1v1. We don't need to take the 2v2. We're going to try and get a fast push on. There is a teleport down to the bottom side, so Wunder will be joining Kobbe to get the push onto this tower as the duo lane of SONSTAR and Hustlin moves slowly up to the top side.
Oh, really good spell usage there. They use Tidal Trickster for AoE and then a good Valkyrie to burn down the creeps. As they approach the tower. Again, that's what we want to look at. You know, how easy can these remaining members, while tanking the creeps, take down that minion wave. Need to see if Hustlin learns and actually goes to tank the creeps here, while SmittyJ sacrifices tempo for teleport advantage. Just like in game 1.
Sticking to their guns, something they're trying to make work for them here. All things fairly even as this lane swap gets underway. Junglers left to their own devices now. The mid laners continue to just trading back and forth. And xPePii, of course, as you mentioned, having that advantage early on, not too fussed about it. And they do ping onto Sencux, trying to make his life a little bit harder since Wisdom's coming around the side double buffs for what could be the level 3 Gragas gank. And he just moves up towards the top side now. So tower's down. Both sides with just another poke of the Trident. Wunderwear should wear it away. Yeah,
on both sides, do the exact same thing here. Look at the wards placed in the lane as well. If you're wondering what they're for, the second you see the bot lane approach, you push out your wave again. Never when you see the top laner, because if obviously the top laner is running in your lane and getting cheesed, kinda, that's when you just want to change your play pattern here. xPePii now early up in CS 10 advantage whenever Zed is on the tower. He obviously gets contested on the CS. SmittyJ now sees Braum, that means bot lane is coming. Look at him, instantly clearing these creeps, no longer freezing. The same is being done here on Wunderwear. There's no distinct advantage. Top laners are staying relatively even. get as many creeps as they can, base, and then join your bot lane wherever they are on the map to push the next tower.
And knowing this is going to be a very farm fest kind of game, of course, both AD carries grab themselves coals. They're not too worried about having to contest for farm for the time being, and you can see Wunderwear backing away since he doesn't really have the tools to fight this one out. He just kind of to join. And then, of course, we get the mirrored matchup as we expected over and over again. Giants showing they were able to play this very crisp, something we didn't see from them during the regular split. But they've kind of evolved as a team. Happy to see how it goes forward, this last game notwithstanding. And
they really don't want to use that SmittyJ teleport anywhere so far, so they just make him walk everywhere.
It's good exercise.
Good exercise
for
here.
Growing Yordle.
The only variation you have is whether jungle shows up randomly in mid lane. xPePii is doing a fantastic job pressuring in Sencux, so hopefully getting an advantage big enough for him to then be able to withstand the pressure, pick up some early armor.
Wunderwear will finally get up to that top side tower. It's about half its health right now, and Giants a little bit ahead of the draw on that one, but it should all even out.
They need to bounce this wave, so they don't want to go for any wave play where they push in the next one again. They're going to bounce it. Bounce means obviously push towards you again here. That means SmittyJ is going to get a freeze here, same as Wunderwear. Giants are going to get Dragon, but they're not trading for Rift Herald. Splyce backed off. They choose not to opt in for the Rift Herald play.
It's a good move for Giants, though, as they're able to get that one. The little bit of extra time they had by pushing the tower quicker meant that they're able to take it. Splyce playing too conservatively to try and trade back. So Dragon number 1 in the pockets of Giants, and we're just under 6 minutes on the clock. Everything else is all even. Every little advantage helps.
Giants could shaft their bot lane a little bit here to get advantage of SmittyJ. If he starts pushing out really soon, which he's going to do, then he can get extra CS, base, and teleport towards the top lane where the freeze is on the Fizz. Let's see if he can equalize somehow. Clear that wave. SmittyJ is level 4, so it's Wunderwear. He's going to base and probably just... I imagine he's going to TP top, but Giants' bot lane is now walking top 2. That's interesting.
Very curious.
But they don't want to go for 2v2 lanes. They want to go for another group siege. So Giants are going to go for the push top, get Herald, and push in tier 2. But it may be a little slow in execution here.
I'm sad, Krepo.
Why?
We don't get to see the Fizz Poppy matchup yet.
Yeah, have to wait.
We have to find out, like, eventually. Like, the question has
eventually
to be
they have to fight each other.
Yeah, so I would hope, right?
Look. SmittyJ here. Crucial mistake, so he's going back to bot. So this means that Giants actually has no clue what they're doing. Because he ran halfway into the top lane, and then realized that they had to go bot. Yeah, the Herald play is fine on paper, but you need to be able to not lose any towers while you're trying to set it up. And if they went for the Herald into top push, they would have lost their bot lane tier 2 tower.
And Splyce
now
cut him off.
Look at him. He's stuck because he's going to get dove, and he doesn't have any teleport. So SmittyJ is completely confused right here. So Giants not really used to playing this variation of the lane swap.
He should be teleporting right now to the top side. Help them trade back towers. Wunderwear's still up there, but there's no way he can stand against 3 members on this. Not a huge wave, but
he can choose to preserve the teleport, obviously, but he chooses to use it right now once the minions hit. Obviously, you don't want to use it early. You want to use it so you can at least make use that the minion becomes invulnerable. Wunderwear does the same. He tries to match, see if he can defend. And Splyce are going to push for one more tower. They're going to force Giants to back here because Splyce were ahead of the play. Giants were too slow. They made the wrong mistake sending their bot lane to 2v2 top. They should have just used the teleport advantage to get SmittyJ into that Fizz lane.
Yeah, we're going to have a fast inhibitor from Splyce. They're poking it down very quickly with 4 members here. And that is an 8-minute inhibitor turret. Rarely happens, but big mistakes are punished. This time, Splyce are the ones that do it.
And this mistake happened a minute and 30 seconds ago. And that's how kind of lane swaps work. Whenever you make a mistake, you gotta backtrack. You know, where did we go wrong? And it's when you send your members out of your base now. Sencux level 7, ultimate comes out.
There's the death mark, but instantly the Emperor's Divide comes out, and PePii will live to fight another day. Ult for ult traded, but Sencux does use the ignite, and PePii holds his exhaust.
Remember this. Under threat for being dove, though. Wunderwear level 5.
Oh, yeah.
Peasant can cancel the Q.
Up goes in, and everything goes flying. PePii avoids death yet again, denying the Grim Reaper.
I feel like Poppy should have popped her W there. Could have really screwed over Wunderwear's dive there. Remember, he's playing with no flash. Just Tidal and Trickster.
Wunderwear, no ignite either.
No
teleport, really nothing.
Why do I call it Tidal?
Because that's his name. He's the Tidal Trickster.
Aha.
He tricked you.
Why don't you correct me? Or play-by-play.
My
I need to
bad.
learn these abilities. I only use QWER.
Do you, for extra hard mode, you kind of try to bind them to other keys too to see if you still remember them?
No. I can only press 4 buttons, man. I'm a support man.
Fair enough. I will teach you the ways of all the names of the abilities one of these days. So PePii, he's able to shift some sands. Get himself a blue
Many
buff.
sands were shifted.
Yes, and many Winter's Bites were procced as well. It's actually the Cuss of Blows. So SmittyJ looking to defend this top turret, and Nisbeth and Trashy are coming through the rescue.
Graves, Corki, good siege here. Finding the Poppy. Seems that Splyce is ahead of the play.
Exhaust.
Exhaust to slow him down, get him off the turret.
Trashy's still looking for the chase now, but there's no way he can come back to defend, and Giants are starting to lose ground here. A lot more damage being dealt to these turrets than they're able to put out themselves. They're up in a dragon, but down in gold and down in turrets by 2. They will be able to answer back on this one, but it is a little bit slower, and still Splyce are pushing further.
Should be a mirror though. Complete mirror here. Wunderwear is just ahead of an experience. That's the biggest thing. He's soaking XP. He's not getting any CS, but he's even going to cancel SONSTAR here and then...
Playful Trickster, there we go. Backing away, but Wisdom wants the chase down. There's the barrel, delayed as it is, and he dashes over, chums the waters. Still, he might go down back to the mid lane, though. Peppy's being hunted, and he is going to get blown up. Popped by Zed for first blood.
Yeah, Pepe drops 4v1 because, again, Splyce were ahead of the play. They couldn't push on, so they just rotate to the mid lane to go for the siege. Wunderwear doesn't get killed. Complete the lack of communication here. Hustlin, and this is really like heavy on critique, but you can actually outplay the Fizz. You know every time you W in, he will Playful and Trickster. So what you do on Alistar is you W in, you hold the Q, and you Q flash when he lands, because you will be in range. And there's actually no counterplay if Fizz is not playing a flash. So Hustlin, not experienced enough in the Alistar versus Fizz matchup to really force that, because it's super standard behavior, because Wunderwear does not have the time for you to see if you actually channel your Pulverize. The animation is too fast. You can't react to that with Fizz E. So you just wait. You W in, you know you won't knock him back because he will actually get out and jump off, and then you Q flash.
There you go. And Wunderwear was able to slip away, though, in all of the craziness. So Splyce, you know, 1 kill on the board. They've got more turrets, they've got more damage. 6-4, as it's been a lot of fast pushing back and forth in the first 10 minutes of this game, but we've kind of hit a very medium lull for just a little bit, since there's no more easy objectives to grab. Everyone has to start iteming up. I mean, you take a look at how it is across the board, and it looks even on paper, but that extra goal from the turrets is helping Splyce.
Extra goal from the turrets, but now it's up to SmittyJ. Wunderwear got ganged up upon. Peppy is behind the mid lane. He's down a level, but SmittyJ is the only member here that's distinctively ahead of his counterpart. So SmittyJ is up a level on Wunderwear. He needs to make that CS and level and experience advantage work. See if he can break open that matchup somewhere. Otherwise, I think Pepe Nero will see his fate repeated there. Dove over and over, if not pressured in and rotated away from.
Yeah, so much damage that they've got on the Splyce side to be able to hunt down members. And once they can get those picks, they can start the 1-3-1. Sencux goes forward, and Death Marks onto Peppy, but he's knocked backwards into tower, and he flashes forward, flashing back. Oh, nails the outplay, but a teleport comes in from SmittyJ to knock him into the wall, and the barrel pops him on the head. Revenge kill, mid for mid.
Yeah, but only assist, and look at what build Peppy is on right now. He has the Fiendish Conex and a Seekers, now working towards the Nashor 2s with the Stinger, but he's so far behind Sencux, who gets the early Hex Drinker for the trading advantage, and then you can build just more raw AD and CDR.
Yeah, no summoners available. He didn't have a turret. He had to rely on his Sun Disc. Doesn't do nearly as much damage. That yields the Dragon over to Splyce, but they are trading for a Rift Herald right now. This might give them a bit of a reprieve.
But there's no more towers to push anymore with that Rift Herald, so it's a bit of a useless buff. It should go to Wisdom at least, so he can roam around the jungle quicker, find an opening as much as he can. W in, connect with E, R attack to R, gets snuck back, goes back to the R location, then flashes and E's, and completely surprises Peppy. Really solid play by Sencux here.
And the barrel. So at least Wisdom was there to clean up, along with SmittyJ, but I mean, they spent a lot. An ultimate, a teleport from the Poppy, and yeah, Peppy was only able to secure an assist on that one. He's been having a rough game. Splyce identifying the weakness. And identifying
the matchup, really.
Yeah, the pressure point they can put on this team. And, you know, Peppy, as much as he has been stepping up lately, he's been in a lot of trouble.
Hang on, Pyra, I have to interrupt.
All right, let's talk vision.
This is what dreams are made of. 5 pink wards. Splyce's inventory. Playing the macro game, Yamato would say.
You've got to play the macro game. And
they got him. Can they place them? That's step 2.
That is the question. Well, we'll keep an eye on those inventories and see where they put them and when, and if they pass Krepo's class.
Hustlin trading, but it's AD carry, or Poppy's already getting traded on by Wunderwear.
Yeah, Wunder looking for a kill here. Trashy flashing over the wall. Nisbeth is knocked back, but Smitty's blown away, and SONSTAR is popped up by the Glacial Fissure, but they don't have any follow-up damage to chase him down. Meanwhile, Kobbe and Wisdom duking it out in the jungle, but the Corki should go down there. Wisdom waits on the auto attack. And
Tried to get the
secures himself
kill.
a kill.
Tried to get the kill to xPePii there. Obviously, in all this, Zed's split pushing the bottom. He feels like he can't get the inhibitor, so he's gonna rotate. If he can mess with xPePii here. No mana. Pick that blue buff.
Oh, yeah. That feel when you can't slide your soul.
Just quite reach it. Something is in the top shelf and you're short.
I know that feel. Let's go back to this one again because Pepi.
Oh, you found
much
Sin.
chance.
And he flashes in. Okay.
Yep.
Blind.
He's got not too many places to go. Oh, but the big barrel misses him actually.
The interesting gameplay.
That was a comedy of errors.
Thematically, it's the worst though. The execution, you can say whatever you want, but when your team's making a 3v2 play in the top lane and your mid laner is split pushing the bottom, you don't go this aggressive. You just put pressure by pushing in minion waves and then disengaging. You reveal enemies with minion pressure. You don't go for the play here. So Kobbe trying to chase the glory, but it will never result in anything extra other than that just a kill, and the risk of failure is too high, putting Pepi back in the game.
Well, he has picked up his power spike here and also working towards his next item with the Trinity Force and now the pickaxe. But you talked about at the beginning of the game. They need to be able to get picks and start side pushing these waves. And you can see they were able to do a miraculous job in the bottom side, but after that, it seems like Splyce has stagnated a bit.
I wouldn't say just yet though. They have opened up this map. Some picks here and then Sencux obviously finds the opposition here. The 1-3-1 on these very long lanes. These assassins should be able to shine. They've stagnated a tiny bit with Kobbe making that error, but they continuously have the pressure though. At no point you will see Giants push in any of these lanes. Now Giants will be starved for vision. Splyce needs to start placing on his pink wards, and then we'll see the 1-3-1 really come into effect.
But for Giants to get back into this one, what can they really do against this 1-3-1 as Pepi has to shift himself out of range in the sun distance?
They need to dodge a bullet, catch that bullet, put it in their gun, and then shoot Splyce.
Well, that's what they're trying to do to Trashy, and it's Pepi. There we go. He picks it up by poking the Graves in the back of the head. That might be the tick they needed to start pushing.
Yeah, Splyce oversteps their boundaries where they shouldn't. They go in blind in the jungle. They're playing pick comps. They're playing it into more of a teamfight comp, so the more numbers we have on Giants, the safer they are. And perhaps you were right after all. Splyce not identifying that they should keep split up and find one target and isolate it rather than just go for these seemingly teamfight heavy approach that they're doing in the mid lane.
Well, and Wunderwear wasn't there, didn't spend his teleport because it was all over too quickly, and so Smitty just backs casually after the fight, and he was a little bit behind the ball anyways, and then just clears away the waves at the top side. Giants still haven't lost an inhibitor, and they've got themselves a 5th turret on the game, so they're not too far behind Splyce.
Oh, they're bang on equal right now, because the scenario Giants wanted to avoid is being pushed in all lanes and then having to send 1 or 2 people to deal with Sencux. And then they find themselves exposed on the other side of the map, where then Trashy would walk in and put vision in the enemy jungle. But because nobody was with Sencux, he was actually not putting any pressure. Giants were allowed to group up as 4, and they pulled the trigger. They immediately caught out Trashy, who overextended. Another mistake from the jungle here from Splyce in this series. This is not the first one.
Yeah.
SmittyJ commented on his mental fortitude and strength in terms of not being afraid to go for a play after his mistakes. But yeah, the head count for mistakes is up to 4 right now.
Yeah, so he needs the mental fortitude even further. I mean, it's definitely one thing to have it, but to not need it in the first place because you're not committing those mistakes. An experienced player like Trashy needs to know better. Giants going for the Rift Herald here, but as you mentioned before, this is the last second one anyways, since Baron's going to take up his abode in a moment. Not a whole lot for them to push, but give it to Wisdom once again.
All right, 2 good deep wards here though. They trade the Rift Herald control for a push siege in the mid lane, and then obviously the deep vision in jungle. They check that brush for a pink ward, they find it, so now Sencux can do work. He can overextend. The whole reason you need that vision, Nisbeth should be fine here, is that now Sencux can start using his shadows aggressively to harass, because he doesn't need to use them as a gap closer, because he always knows if he's being flanked on or not.
Yeah. SmittyJ feels confident enough to step up to the plate versus Sencux on this bottom side. It has been hard for Sencux to find a non-squishy target and really take him out. After some flashy plays in the mid and outplaying Pepi, you know, we haven't seen a whole lot else from this Zed pick, and I wonder if it's questionable now that he played it for the lane and maybe not for the rest of the game.
So it's Iceborne Fizz. Just getting a little bit of extra armor here, mostly into that Poppy matchup. No Triforce. I guess you can go Triforce if you really want to snowball, but I think if you're behind, lane stops, you generally never see Fizz in a split push go for Triforce because it's too slow. So you just go for more a base damage, somewhat tanky-oriented build. Unless you spiral really far ahead due to a mistake somewhere.
Yeah.
Strikeforce that late just doesn't provide the biggest value.
It's a curious thing seeing this Fizz too. With Splyce, you know, matching, or rather pulling out some more interesting tricks out of their bag and trying to keep Giants on the back foot here. You got to wonder if this is something they've been specially preparing, or it's just kind of Wunderwear saying, yeah, I can do it, or Sencux can do it, or how well have they thought this out, do you think?
I mean, it was quite apparent that SmittyJ heavily favored Trundle and Poppy. So they must have had this prepared, but there's always the difference between scrims and on stage. Pepinera so far has avoided any assassination attempts, and he's actually trailed ahead of Sencux. Sencux has been moving away from this bottom lane, back into jungle, then bot again, so he's been hesitant in his split push. He's traditionally known to have a low farm share, so we always attribute it to Splyce taking away farm from him, but perhaps he's just not optimizing his position on the map, because he should never be behind the CS when he had this big of a lead.
Yeah, he keeps moving to the side and just pushing a few waves, but every time Giants are able to send someone to intercept him, who can survive him? And as a result, it does seem like Splyce has kind of lost its head a little bit, lost their heads to continue this push-up. They just keep blindly shoving waves and then moving back.
Nisbeth experienced the quality element of gameplay that is trying to clear wards versus an Azir soldier. You lose half your health, but you get the ward when you get to base.
Yeah.
Fun gameplay experiences.
Well, when you're Braum, at least it doesn't sting quite as hard. You don't want to be doing that as squishy. Wunderwear and SmittyJ now, they'll trade it out. So with this game kind of settling down, we are, as you said, bang on even, with the exception of maybe one turret and one dragon being in Splyce's favor. But they've got this mid-game power spike, and I watch this play that they're doing right now. It just doesn't seem like they're using it enough. What should they really be doing apart from what they are doing?
I think they need more vision. I mean, look at the map. There's no deep vision anywhere. They're trying to build it now. Giants have done a good job denying it at least, or just putting some pressure back. Wunderwear.
It's a trap.
I think Smitty could have waited. If Wunderwear ever uses his E, I don't think it would have mattered. Nobody's going to kill each other here.
As I said, fast. He gets it up a little bit too late after the Playful Trickster. Or after the Urchin Strike, I should say. Wunderwear continues to push. I mean, they've got these tools to keep the push on the side, but the question is, with teleports available on all sides for both top laners, are we going to see a fight breaking out anytime in the middle? Looks like both teams kind of risk avoidant.
Yeah, but they nail one part of it down. They put 2 deep wards in the enemy jungle. This now allows Wunderwear to play aggressive if he wants to. He still has an Ignite for dueling. We have the Zed on the top lane. He has no vision, but he should be okay.
Yep, Ghost
no
play
Shadow out. Yeah, Ghost play defensively.
Oh, but the flash in for Hustlin, and he goes in onto SONSTAR. Sencux trying to dash away. The coin comes in, and the barrel will stop him up for a second. Tries to juke back, but right into the minions, and he's got not anywhere to go. Ward comes in, and Wisdom dodged out barrel, but he gets the auto.
Yeah, aggressive move here. Giants, this is something they have been doing well. They don't allow Splyce to just keep split pushing for free. They're not afraid to pull the trigger one, at least one on the side lanes. And right now, Splyce is not far ahead, or not far ahead in the split push to take the cross map somewhere. Can't really commit their members somewhere, and Giants doing a good job defending to this 1-3-1.
Yeah, and there's not a lot they could have taken even if they had the time to do it in the positioning. There was no dragon available. There's no towers down on bottom side anymore. So you could say that's because Splyce did well in the early game, but
we're talking inhibs here at the later
much.
point in the game. That is the goal. That's why you continuously want to be pushed up and obviously have the chance to maybe then back up to a Baron with Fog of War advantage.
Well, and you also deter Giants from even trying to make a play like that. You can't send 4 members top when you've got an open inhib and minions bearing down.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you want to do. So you want to keep the pressure up. And Giants, they break that down before they get to that point. Before everybody is pushing at these inhib towers. That's when they just strike immediately. Aggressive Q flash here from Hustlin with distortion boots. Puts his flash only on a 3-minute and a half cooldown right now on that Alistar.
Yep. Well, they've got the tools in their composition and in their items to really do it. You can see the armor stacking to deal with that Zed. Really to deal with most of this side of Splyce. A lot of magic damage coming out from Kobbe's side. Giants pushing up and pressuring in the mid, but Trashy Nisbeth Kobbe there.
Look at Wisdom. There's vision in the enemy jungle, but there's no vision actually in the jungle from Splyce.
He can't chase
SmittyJ gives it away a little bit with the aggression. And Sencux, again, he's not in the top lane. He should be in the top lane right now. If you're playing 1v1, Splyce is afraid when they see people move around the map that they ask for help, and then they pull their top laner down to the mid lane. And look at the farm in the top lane they're losing right now. It may look insignificant, but every time it's 3, 4, 5 CS, they could accelerate this big top wave and let it crash in for pressure because it's already big enough to matter. They're only losing some of these blue creeps that they could be taking. And Giants, they're not losing a single CS from that massive top wave. So when that hits, it only takes is one guy to walk up, AoE the wave, and push it out. Like Sencux is going to push it out right now. He missed 8 creeps. And you may be like, Krepo, why are you whining about 8 creeps? But you know,
hey man, that's
now,
a lot of money.
8 now, like 8 again later, 7 here and there. And that's exactly the difference between xPePii, who's in the mid lane just clearing every creep, and Sencux being a little lost on his Splyce map.
Yeah, that has been the trouble. It's made us question Sencux just a little bit in this game. And Splyce is a team. You know, if you look at the series between these two, they've not obviously played a lot since Splyce is a newer team, and Giants have been in the LCS for some time now. That first game was Giants' first win against Splyce because it had been 2-0 in the spring split here.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that almost shakes up Splyce a little bit because I think they came in really not expecting to drop one early on. SONSTAR gets jumped onto. QSS, the death mark, but Sencux is on the chase, and now he backs away. Can he get out? That's the question. Belly bop, and xPePii, they chase him and pin him against the wall. Not enough damage, but the barrel will finish him off. Emperor's Divide to push him back in, and the fight is on. xPePii is going down. Splyce have tried to turn this one, and they find Wisdom with the jump in the waters, but in comes Smitty from around the backside, and this is just getting bloody. Shut down gold, given over to Wunderwear, and he is not going to stay alive through this one. Trashy pinned up against the wall between Hustlin and him, and Trashy trying to get the kill, but the cow just walks away. Not for long as Kobbe answers back. A double kill for the Poppy, but Smitty's not going to survive very long. Maybe he can take Trashy down with him, but no. And all said and done, it is a 3-for-4 bloody battle in favor of Splyce.
And Splyce pull out ahead. They have the initial move here. SONSTAR got a little too close to that wave. He could have waited to be a little farther away from the brush, and then obviously there's no surprise jump here from Sencux. Good reaction, but they used too much on getting Sencux. Look, there's no reason to not wait the 2 extra seconds here for SONSTAR. He does a good few side steps, but he could have just straight up died there. Then he disengages. Look at what they have to use with Sencux, and look how late the teleport comes in. Puppy and teleport. Puppy teleport is really far. Top right of your screen. That's the mistake. SmittyJ, look at it. If he was earlier in this fight, you know, we're talking 6, 7, 8 seconds here before he arrives and doesn't get any value from Senpai presence and then gets exhausted. Giants have a team fight comp. They win team fights against 1v1 split pushes if they're all present at the start. I was wondering why this fight went so awry because the Zed and Lucian kind of exited the fight at the same time, and Lucian re-entered for more damage, and it all boils down to this teleport from SmittyJ. Way too far. Really big oversight from Giants.
Not to mention a lot of cooldowns already blown to take out Sencux. You know, the Zed's not going to be as much help in the fight. He's really trying to pick off targets. He took SONSTAR out of it for a while, but yeah, that was really, really messy from both sides. Splyce came out ahead just barely, but remember, we're 7-7 in kills right now. There's less than 1,000 gold separating these teams.
Yeah, but a raw 5-on-5 Splyce will lose unless they get really far ahead and they get like, they annihilate a single target. Overall, Trashy did so much damage with repetitive damage, but there's so much AoE CC from Giants that should be able to win them the fights. And then the Zed versus QSS versus double exhaust. That's also what we're tracking here. Exhaust on Fizz, exhaust on Zed, AoE CC and knock him up, and suddenly Splyce is doing a whole lot less damage overall.
Yeah, they got to rely heavily on Kobbe here, rocking those double buffs he picked up. xPePii taking a lot of damage from those rocket poke. A lot of wards around the Baron pit for Giants. They're trying to make sure Splyce can't catch him with the pants down. And the 1-3-1 just pretty much continues here. Splyce, at 28 minutes though, you have to think that the window that they have to really out pressure on every side might be running a little bit short.
And they're actually solving a problem here in Game 3 that they had in Game 2, which is the approach towards Baron. It is deep vision first, take care of the river later, and they have that deep vision set up for the split push. Now they go for the vision denial here. There's one ward, presumably a blue trinket in the pit, and then everything will be dark. Lights out here for Giants. They will need to face check if they want to contest the Baron.
Oh yeah. Still stacking a lot of members up in this topside jungle, continuing to deny that vision. Giants are going to be kept in the dark for a while.
There's one ward there, I think, in the little brushy that's showing them.
It's got 1 health too. Yeah. That one's new.
Yep, obviously you need more pink wards, obviously, because one sweeper gets used, and then obviously if they ward over, your bait gets kind of ruined, unless you pull the trigger immediately. So more pink wards necessary on the side of Splyce, but it was a good attempt. There was some face checking involved from Giants, sadly could not be punished by Splyce.
We talked about that big front line that they've got, so Giants, you know, they're pretty big and strong, and at some point they doesn't afraid of everything, of anything. Darn, I messed it up. Nisbeth, he's maybe afraid of this Giants aggression, but he jumps back, gets some health there. Giants have made a power play up towards mid. They put down the Sun Disc in the outer tier for Splyce, but Trashy is around the backside. Can they get a collapse here?
He's taking care of the wave. No, he's not looking to collapse. So what Giants is doing, they're setting up a siege, but to reduce the tower, obviously, you need minions, and Trashy just takes away the minions from behind. Because Splyce does not want a team fight. Maybe poke a little bit, but a straight 5-over-5 fight, I don't think is what they want.
Nevertheless, Splyce have left Wunderwear on the podium. See if they use him. There aren't too many close deep boards around. Giants are looking to push on mid.
So in a 5v5 scenario, barring any major flanks, Giants should have the upper hand. Both exhausts are available. Sencux on the side here, Wisdom trading.
Oh, gets knocked up. There's a lot of damage on that Gragas. And the barrel knocks him right back on in. He's got to burn his own flash now, but in comes Wunderwear to try and answer back. They find Wisdom, chum the waters on him, and a lot of damage being dealt, but he playfuls and tricksters out of there. Now Splyce, a little late to the party, are caught in their own brush. Deathmark onto SONSTAR, but they just blow him back, and xPePii getting the kill for that one. 1 for none.
Yeah, and this is the power when Giants group up. The AoE CC base damage is enough from Wisdom to duel the Zed. Sencux can never trade damage because he's not built for that. This is a bold Baron Carol here immediately from Giants, but they have the Azir Lucian whacking away. 6k, 5k dropping.
Oh, it is oh so low. Down to 3,000 here, but Splyce are coming up to try and take it out, but no. Nisbeth flashing forward, and now the fight is on, but Kobbe trapped in the back of the pit. The remaining Splyce members are just too low. Exhaust on a xPePii, but it won't matter. Double kill over to Lucian, and now Trashy is going low. Wunderwear is going down. Triple kill, and is that gonna be it? The quadra kill over to SONSTAR, and they clean up.
Yeah, quadra kill comes out here, and Splyce are team fighting with the utmost 1-3-1 split push comp into a fantastic Kai teamfight composition. We need to watch that fight again, because the start here is Sencux looking for a flank and getting caught by Wisdom. And then he uses every single one of his abilities defensively, and then the layering of CC wins Giants that fight. We'll get to that eventually. Sencux is back up. Let's see if this unit goes down. It should.
Not a lot they can do. Still death timers on, and the Ghostblade gets popped, but Sencux can only return a bit of fire onto Hustlin. Giants know they're not going to get too much. In he goes, actually, and he gets popped again. Hustlin's going down. That'll be a trade. But still, the support for your mid laner, 55 seconds?
I mean, they're grasping at straws here. Look, Sencux is engaged, gets stopped by Wisdom. Bop him on the head. He has to dash out. Really good battle. Wisdom has some phenomenal Gragas play here.
Oh, yeah.
SONSTAR engages immediately. They kite back away from the Fizz. Fizz is going on the tank here. And your Assassin is not hitting the 2 damage dealers. You have WQ combo, Poppy ulti, and then the Shurima divides the fight here so they can take care of Sencux. And then the fight is won, they can disengage. All these spells have been used on the side of Splyce, and another bold decisive Baron Call here. This is not something we're used to see from Giants, because the stop here is late. Splyce could have been here earlier, but they did not expect this Baron to go down that quickly. And then the fact that they opted for this panicky team fight just seals the deal. Like, 4 members of Splyce just sacrificed their life here for none.
Yeah, shot calling is definitely not an optimal, and
Giants is shot calling better than Splyce's game.
Yeah, absolutely, and you can see it right there on your screen. 6,000 gold in the Baron power play. A lot of that helped by the massive sacrifice the Splyce members made on the back. With SONSTAR picking up a quadra kill. He's 5-0-6 on this game. Excellent kill participation. Early QSS has really paid some serious dividends for him, and now Giants, they're looking to push up into this inhibitor turret on the bottom side.
Yeah, looking at game 3, really big questions. Where does that Poppy go? Talk about LA, let's see how the siege plays out.
A lot of damage already being dealt. Splyce will have to move quick if they want to move it on. Oh, Wisdom boxing Kobbe up against the wall. He's pinned and he's taken out. SONSTAR with the kill on that one. And now Wunderwear is going to get bopped as well, chasing down SONSTAR. Sencux couldn't do a damn thing about it. And that might be it for game number 3. Double kill over to xPePii. And now they look to close up shop on this one and put themselves 1 win away from making it right back into the LCS. Nexus turrets going down in a flash. In 33 minutes, Giants will go up 2-1 over Splyce.
9,100 gold Baron power play, plus 50 for the Nexus.
And the swag moves are on for xPePii. Another victory for Giants Gaming.
That was massive. 9,100 gold on that Baron power play. Jesus.
Yeah.
Fantastic play overall.
We're actually hearing from our stats bender too. That's the biggest Baron power play we've had in EU. That is really something else. Over 9,000. Then they dive the Nexus or dive the Fountain in style. I mean, at that point, you've got to be riding an emotional high. Giants are 1 win away from requalification into the LCS, and it looks so uncertain in the closing weeks.
I'm utterly surprised. Like, I came here today, I'm not going to lie, when they asked us, you know, potential long game, 10 games, I was like, nah.
Not gonna
6
happen.
games, we're out of here, 3-0 stomp, 3-0 stomp, and I was utterly wrong. I don't mind.
I mean, I
because
get
the guys are
words
playing
too.
well. They're playing so well, and Splyce, I mean, at this point, they have to ban Trundle and Poppy or leave both open, because they obviously have no answers, and they need to stop playing split push. They actually need to pick an AoE hard engaged teamfight composition, because they're not smart. The iteration of Splyce that came out today is not smart enough to play split push 1-3-1.
Yeah, I mean,
Sencux
I couldn't have said it better myself.
They're dropping way too many sidelane CS, and they're not pushing on it like hard enough, and then they're defaulting to just a team fight for no reason. They're not playing to their composition strength, and Giants recognizing that.
Yeah, and some progression from them, much needed now. Giants have brought the series to match point. Splyce need to pick up a win here, or they're going to look at the losers bracket. So we're going to be right back with game number 4. Don't touch that browser.
With that music, though.